Okay, I just want to say a few words why I personally think that a man called Muhammad from 7th century Arabia is, in fact, a prophet of God. There's my own personal reasons, not necessarily a reason that other people will give, but as a Christian, some years ago, I studied the prophets in the Torah, the Jewish prophets. I studied the teaching of Jesus, and became quite familiar with that. And when I came across Islam in Regent's Park Mosque, just down the road, I discovered actually that what he taught, Muhammad taught, was basically the same as what Isaiah taught, Micah, Isaiah, all the prophets of God. And indeed what Jesus taught in the earliest Gospels about salvation, sin, forgiveness, a relationship with God, what things that really matter, the priority over the importance of the interior, the intention, the niyyah as it's called in Arabic, in your actions. And this struck me as quite like what Jesus taught, obviously. And so I came to a crossroads, a fork in the road, when I had to say, okay, well, Muhammad's teaching is very similar to Jesus' teaching and Moses' teaching and so on. I accept Jesus as a prophet of God and is sent by God, but I don't accept Muhammad as a prophet of God. But what is that logical? Is that rational? So I came to make the big leap for me, psychologically, as an English guy, of accepting an Arabian prophet as also sent by God. And I did. I accepted him as a prophet of God because I couldn't think of a really good reason why he wasn't a prophet of God. He had the attributes, the character, the teaching, the gravitas, the wisdom, the beauty, and he brought a revelation as well, which I thought was I still think is the most precious thing that I own. And I own a house in France. I own, I have worldly goods. I have this and that. The single most precious thing on earth that I own is my copy of the Quran, and that's not just saying it. I really mean that. It's the most precious thing I own. It's the most extraordinary book. So we had a man who talked like a prophet, appeared like a prophet, was in continuity with the prophets of God that I already knew something about, and he brought this amazing revelation as well. So at the end of the day, it was a no-brainer. And so one of the great things about Islam is that in Christianity you get Jesus, but in Islam you get Jesus and Muhammad. You get them both. You just don't. It's the only religion in the world where you get them both. So that's why I take him as a prophet of God, because he speaks to me of spiritual truth in the same way that the other prophets of God have as well. I've been schooled in that to such an extent that I recognized a kindred spiritual prophet, if you like, when I came across one. And I've not found that in any of the other so-called prophets like Joseph Smith or the other pretend prophets. I've not found a millionth of the depth and the wisdom and the transforming power of the teaching of Muhammad and the revelation he brought. There's nothing like it. It stands in a class on its own, along with all the prophets of God. These other prophets don't impress me. I mean, if they did, I would have the same dilemma. But I don't. I just have not found anything remotely interesting or attractive about them compared to the great prophets of God. So I do bear witness that Muhammad is a prophet of God, and along with Jesus and Moses and all the prophets of God. Alhamdulillah.